right. We're actually live, by the way.
Oh, really?
So
Welcome.
I need to confirm. It take a few minutes to confirm we're live. I'm not gonna take chances again.
Okay. But while we are
uh,
confirming, welcome. Feel free to take a seat and subscribe. If you have not subscribed to this channel, do us justice and subscribe, like, share, because every day we give out wisdom about how Christians should navigate this world.
we're live.
Are we live? Okay. And
We're
today we are
live.
going to be talking about a very important topic. So make sure that you are glued to this channel. We are going to be talking about Jesus in the workplace.
Yeah, I mean,
And this TikToker made a video about the restrictions around talking about Jesus in the workplace. Make sure that you're tuned in. Make sure that you're commenting. You are giving us your views about what you think is talking about Jesus in the workplace. Rational? Is it respectful? Is it a sensitive topic? These are all the things we are going to analyze on today's episode. So make sure you go nowhere. Are we ready?
yeah. It's something that a lot of people are going to, have issues with. But
Yeah.
the whole idea is to want to hear your opinion, want to hear what you think. Now, whether you're on the side that says hey, we don't want Jesus in the workplace, or you're on the side that says, yeah, I mean, we can talk about Jesus in the workplace. So I just want to hear which side of the coin you belong to, right? Because I do know you have an opinion about this.
Everybody does.
And some people are okay talking about this. Some people don't want to talk about their opinion about it. But the important thing is that we have to talk about this one way or the other.
Right. You can't sweep it under the carpet
Right.
for too long.
All right, so the what do you call it? The clip is upside down. I'm trying to get it to face off. For whatever reason, it's showing up upside down for you guys. But let me flip it vertical, right? Ouch!
Now we are upside down. Maybe you have to turn your phone upside down. What
no,
do you think?
no, please don't do that.
We are gonna figure it out.
No, I selected the wrong guys, right? So
But while the tech part of this partnership is trying to figure out how to get us upside, look at that, we are upside up.
almost there. All right,
Okay.
beautiful.
I think the inscription is still upside down.
Well, the writing is the other way around. We should be able to fix that. The inscription is like this, right? It's supposed to
Oh
be.
yeah, it's like mirroring.
Yeah, so it's mirroring. So that is gonna be flipping gold. Yeah. So look at this guy. This guy is at work and he decided to be dancing, and he decided to put up this and said, you can't talk about Jesus at the workplace. I know you guys are not seeing me, but I wanted you guys to see the guy that is dancing. That's more important, right? So yeah, so we've seen him, and we're gonna just kind of resolve that question of what's your take on this particular incident. It's kind of a straightforward thing. Yeah, she has said, what do you really think about this?
Jesus at the workplace. I think I would be biased. Why? I'm a Christian. I'm a very strong Christian at that. But
She's very strong. She says she's
Jim
very strong.
you know those sisters they call Jim. But anyway, the only way I can try to look at it on a leveled ground is to compare it to politics. I would say it's as good as going to ask someone if he's Democratic or Republican. And that's a very strong question, at least here in America. Or going to ask somebody in Nigeria if they are PDP or APC. Like it's those kind of questions that can cause fights.
Do you know that in my workplace it's against office?
To talk politics.
You don't discuss politics.
Which makes sense. As much I don't even think it's a level ground actually, because we understand that politics can elicit violence, But how can Jesus, talking about Jesus, elicits violence?
Violence.
Like, you can say, oh, actually, I don't want to talk about that, or that's a touchy topic for me, or I'm not interested, and you walk away. That is if you don't want to talk about Jesus. But from the perspective of somebody that talks about Jesus, a Christian, it's difficult not to. If you tell me that there is a policy at work, and at different workplaces there are policies that stops you from talking about Jesus. Um, but wisdom is profitable to direct. There is a way to navigate these things. Um, but it's actually very difficult for me personally not to talk about Jesus. Not because I want to, not because I am actively trying to fulfill the mandate of going into the world and making disciples of all nations. It's actually because it comes as a second nature to me. So I may mistakenly break this rule. Right? I'm not trying to break the rule. I'm not trying to be a ginger sister. I'm really just being myself and being careful.
And
And Jesus was
sometimes,
pure. I can't help it. Yesterday I was talking to somebody and I was trying to be as logical and
as
rational
neutral as
as
possible.
possible. But the person was asking for help. The person was going through anxiety and something of that sort. And the person was asking for my help. And I don't know how I can talk about certain things. Like, I'm really trying to help you. I'm not trying to be bogus or, say cliche things. I'm really trying to tell you what works for me. So it will be the service for me to say a lot of jargon, motivational speeches, and not really tell you that thing that works for me. So it's more than a logical issue for me or about rules and laws.
All right, either way, I mean, it's not even. I think it's not a coincidence we're talking about this incident today because this morning one of the prayer points we had during the morning prayer was us praying about us being able to be those people who are able to share the gospel. In fact, I'm gonna go get the exact prayer point so that we can all see that for ourselves. Hold on. It's gonna be devotional today. Versus devotion. So the second prayer point for today we had was a church that is fully engaged with soul winning. And in the course of the prayer, we did pray about being the people because the church is going to be people. The church doesn't all of a sudden start jumping around and is winning. So it's going to be people who are engaged in soul winning. And we did talk about how we tend to miss the opportunities God is providing to us to truly win souls. And she was going to confront me about something I did the other time.
Do you want me to just call you out myself? I want to do it myself. Don't try to paint a
I want to report myself, right? So we were in the library and, we talked to someone and the lady said her name is Hannah. And while she was going to show us somewhere, she began asking, "Are you a Christian?" I was like, I was trying to say, you don't have to ask her.
He didn't say it outrightly. Like, he whispered to me like a side thing.
Like let's get this done and then we can. But either way, so but on after that, kind of thinking through that, and even when we were praying this morning, the Lord just going to reveal to me how a lot of us miss out on opportunities we're supposed to take advantage of to bring the gospel to people. And that took me to the examples that happened while Jesus was seeing an opportunity to win a soul. The people were seeing a tax collector, both when Jesus called Matthew and when Jesus called Zacchaeus. So all the people were seeing were sinners, tax collectors, and everybody just wants to. Nobody like IRS. Just the way I was like, the hate for IRS didn't start in America.
Sure.
It's been from that time.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to do with tax collectors.
Right.
As far as they're concerned, they are bad guys. But Jesus saw them and Jesus could reach out to them on the instant by saying, "Hey, Matthew, come, let me make you, instead of taking taxes, let me make you a disciple." And Matthew left and followed. And when he saw Zacchaeus, he told him, "Come, today I'm going to dine with you." And he went. And then people began to call Jesus a friend of sinners because, of course, he was dining with them. But that tells me something, that you need to begin to see things from the dimension of heaven, to see people and not see them as people, but see them as people that needs Jesus. Begin to see them as people that at this point, even though some people may not want to deal with them, it might be someone on the road that look homeless, someone that look haggard, someone, you see all of a sudden you just want to say, "I don't belong to that class. right? When you have an assignment to reach out to them and stuff like that. So is the workplace. The workplace is also another place where that can happen. That brings us to the third example I'm going to give is the place where Jesus was at the well, and the Samaritan woman came to fetch water, and he began asking her for water. Now, if you saw how that conversation happened, Jesus didn't go out looking for people to preach to them. He didn't. That was just him sitting and there's someone showing up and the
Right.
conversation, and water became the conversation starter, and it led us to the living water. And all of a sudden, that was how the entire city, came and they believed. The Bible said they told the woman, "We believe not because of what you told us." Sorry, I'm not sure what's wrong with my throat every time I come in here. I think I'm being.
Be healed.
Excuse me.
Amen.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. So, and Jesus decided to take the waters conversation starter, an entire city, a lot of people from that city, believed him and believed in his gospel. So, when we talk about the workplace, it's about being sensitive enough to identify conversation starters, right? Take advantage of conversation starters. Outrightly coming to people and just begin to push the gospel on them. People are going to frown at it, right? We're going to go through the comments here so that you can see some of the things.
Before we get to that, actually, I've been being convicted right now. When I was this morning when I was driving out, I saw two people, and I drove past them, and something in me just said, talk to these people. You were in a meeting that we talked about discipling people and basically catching souls. And I drove past two people this morning, and something in me, my spirit said, talk, stop and talk to these people. This is strange. Like this is not Nigeria. In America, you're driving, you just you can't
Keep
just
driving.
stop. You can't just stop and start talking to people. But something in me, the thing kept saying when I drove past, the thing kept saying reverse. This is around right state, so it's school environment. The thing kept saying reverse and talk to these people about like a good conversation starter could be they looked alike, a boy and a girl around the same age. So I was like, oh, I could ask them if they are twins or something. But the spirit was gearing towards preach the gospel of Christ to these two people. Because we're in America, and I don't know if you shout. I drove. I just went to where I was going to. But I was talking about this conversation. I was like, what are the chances? The link. And I don't get this kind of promptings frequently. So it's not like it's one of those things. It's something that happened this morning. And coincidentally, we are talking about this, and you prayed about it this morning.
In fact, that was
in the
of
devotional.
course because I led the prayer session. We spent time praying about that. Lord, open my eyes to see people the way you see them, so that when we see people, we don't immediately box them up, right? And then we don't see the opportunity to bring the salvation to them. So now the workplace can be a place where this can happen, right? In fact, someone gave me what I would call $100 bill in workplace, but the $100 bill was something about the kingdom. It was a note, it was money, but the money was evangelism money. It was not real. It's a dummy cash, right? So you get to see that even in the workplace, even if you as an employer or employee refuses to bring the gospel to the workplace, some of the clients you deal with will bring the gospel to your workplace.
Right.
Right, and this is typical of a guy who is taking the work to the workplace. In my former work place, I used to come outside and dance to one or two music, and just with my camera dance and put just excited and praising God about it and upload it, and that's it. But I've had a couple of conversations with colleagues, with friends who be like, "What's up this weekend?" And that's a conversation starter.
Right.
Yeah, what's the plan this weekend? Oh, I'll be in church on Sunday. I'll do this on Saturday. What's up, you? I'm here. I'm lying down on Sunday. What how about you come out on Sunday? What do you want to learn on your house? Come, let's go do something.
And I don't think the establishment rules will frown at you telling somebody you're going to church on Sunday.
No, because I can tell you, I
Right.
can invite you to come with me. Of course, it could be dinner, it could be yoga, it could be anything. I could invite you to come go with me. I don't think that applies to, there's nothing wrong with that. But then, some people can take this out of context, right? You might be having the conversation with A, and someone overhears it and go report you for speaking about this with someone. And that's where the challenge comes in, right? But usually, most times, we should be able to read the room, understand where we are, and be sure that we are within the context of having that conversation without running into issues.
But even at that, that's where persecution comes in, don't you think? Because I'm not saying you should just be a loud person and be a nuisance to workplace. But when you start becoming overly careful, that means you're trying to shy away from this persecution that is already predicted that you will encounter as Christians. So my own take would be ready to be persecuted if that is what it takes we're going to go through the comment section. I think somebody said
Well,
they lost their
we
job,
get
right?
there. Yes.
Yeah, we can dive
All right,
into
all
it.
right. But before we get it, one of the good things to do is, if I'm a Christian, I'm a business owner, right? As a business owner, the gospel at my workplace is enough. But as a non-Christian owner, they may have policies that will be tilted against that. So it's basically all about business premises, business owners. And so encourage Christians, one of the best way to, if you want to take business, you want to take Jesus to your workplace and make it more effective, make it more resounding without making people feel bad or compromising people. Because it's not just going to be about you who is preaching the gospel and then you get affected or thereabout. The person you are talking to might likely live with a guilt of, oh God, hell, they got sad because they're speaking to me. So you also don't want to put people in that situation where they feel offended or they feel stuff like that. So, but overall, let's see what people have to say about this.
We are encountering another technical challenge.
Another technical challenge.
But I trust my tech partner here to figure it out.
All right. So I think
Oh my gosh.
I think we've gotten that in place. All right. So I wanted to read some of this comment for yourself. We don't want to read so that it doesn't look as if we're trying to bring things that are not true, right? So if you can see that, let me reduce it so we're taking it like one at a time. Okay, so this is a comment by Shemo. Shemo said, I started a Bible study at work, talked about him every time. This is someone speaking. Praise God for
I
Shemo.
feel like dancing praise dance. You know, this African American.
All right, so that's Shemo's praise report, right? That's what happened at work. Now, we can see Baba said, love your spirit. And as they're trying to talk to the pure. Now, Penny said that Jesus in the morning, Jesus in the afternoon time, Jesus when the sun goes down.
Yes, so.
Now, but let's look at something. Let's look at a different. Let's look at what Wismomi said. Now, Wismomi said, I lost my job in the hospital because of the still going strong though.
That's the spirit.
Now, so you get to see that this is someone who has had. This is someone who has had a personal experience with the consequences of trying to share the gospel at workplace. I'm getting it now. So you get to see, you hear people with different stories. A couple of people, now we scroll down, by the time we get to Dominic said, this is so funny because I can pretty much ignore everything else, but here, the name of Jesus and my antenna go up low. Now this is say I can ignore everything else, but hear the name of Jesus and my antenna go. You see. Now this is, I'm not sure where this person is speaking from. Is it like saying that?
I feel like the person is speaking in support of Jesus, that he would participate in any conversation that has to do with Jesus. That's
okay. Or not saying that, see, I can ignore any noise, any discussion in the office, but if you
talk about Jesus, my
antenna will
hash
go
it
up,
out with you.
They're going to hash it out with you. So, it's this is not very clear, but I won't be surprised to see this kind of, to also think it the other way around, right? Yeah. So, overall, so you get to see that people have a different experience, and this one says they used to be tired of me in the workplace in the medical field, right? So it's I mean, it's difficult to work in the medical field without actually preaching or speaking to people.
Amen. Because people need hope. People need hope there. And guess what Jesus is selling? Hope. So how can it's like I have gold and I have a lot of gold and there are a lot of poor people and I'm hoarding my gold. I'm not sharing it. And it's not from a place of, I'm not trying to be wicked. I'm just trying to stick to organizational standards and rules. As a matter of fact, for me, beyond rules and all that, institutional policies, if you as a Christian is not talking about Jesus unconsciously, consciously, then something is wrong with your secret place. There is no way you can 100%
open your mouth and talk and people don't hear Jesus in there.
It's like you need to go back and rekindle the fire because it is dying down.
I think that's a spirit. You literally will not struggle to know I'm a Christian by the time you speak with me.
Right.
If someone have to begin to ask, are you a Christian? Then that means something is not connecting.
Something's wrong.
Something is not connecting. That's one. Then secondly, if you have to get to the prompt, to the point where people literally will have to not even see any sign of that in how you talk, what you do. People should ask you, even if now the question about taking Jesus to the workplace, is it only in speaking, or we can also be able to take Jesus to workplace without even opening our mouths. Right. So I tell people that if you tell us not to talk in the workplace, we can decide not to talk in the workplace. Because if we go back to the book of Daniel, right, the book of Daniel told them that they must not do anything but bow only to the God that, of course, Nebuchadnezzar has made, a molded God, right? Now, Daniel and the rest of them didn't do anything. All they did was to go back to their rooms and ensure that they are praying in their rooms, and that was all they had to do, right? They just had to go back to their rooms and pray in their rooms. That was all.
Excuse me. We have to let you know there's a 2-hour limit in this text to be on 2 hours or okay?
All right. So I think that's how we'll wrap it up today, and we'll see you some other time.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
All right. Bye.
Bye.